Welcome back to Religion in the News. My guest today is here to talk about Girlfriend's Locker Room. Welcome to the show, Miss Chris Meadows.
Thank you, Faith. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So before we talk about this lady room, locker room, tell us about Harvest Girls International.
Well, Harvest Girls International is a women's empowerment organization designed with you in mind. At Harvest Girls International, we empower women to celebrate the journey. No matter what you've been through, what has happened to you, there's a celebration in you. And we empower young girls ages 9 through 17 with the Power to Dream self-esteem program.
Oh my goodness, you are definitely a lady that did not need no introduction. So you have an upcoming event. So talk to me about the locker room. How did you come up with the locker room?
Okay, I have to tell you this, I love sports. So I was looking at football, love the Colts. And I noticed that sometimes when they come out and play, it's not going so well. But when they go in the locker room at halftime and come out, it transforms them and they end up winning the game. So I said, such is life. Let's have a girlfriend's locker room, because what we talk about in the locker room will empower them and transform them. We'll talk about things in that locker room that people don't get to hear on the outside, but yet it is a transformation that all can see. So that's why we came up with the locker room.
Okay, so unlike the Colts with their footballs, I know you said something about pom-poms and being a cheerleader.
Oh, absolutely.
So do you feel yourself somewhat being a coach in the locker room on that day?
On that day, I am transforming myself. I am Coach Chris. We're going to all wear sports attire, your favorite sports team, whatever you want to wear. We'll have pom-poms. I'll have on the coach's hat, and there'll be referees in there. There'll be cheerleaders. And every time that we say something that is transforming to you, we're going to ask you to do a little cheer for us. It's going to be exciting. We're going to talk about how to get your groove back, but not like Stella. We're going to talk about, have strong talk for tough times, and we're also going to be talking about girl, get your mind right and your money right.
Get your mind right, get your money back, and get your groove on.
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
so what's the age range for this event?
This is a adult event from ages 18 and up, and our oldest person attending has been 81 years old. So it's for something for everyone.
Okay, and what's that date, real quick?
The date is March 22nd, Saturday, and it is at City Barbecue, 621 West 11th Street, downtown Indy. The event is free. Go to www.harvestgirls.com and register.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today, Chris.
Thank you.
Back to you, Merlin.
Thanks, Faith. Good morning. I'm Merlin Gonzalez. My guest today is here to talk about a new food pantry. Pastor Brian Shope, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Merlin. Thank you. Glad to be here today.
Yes, we're very glad to have you here. Tell us about your church and a brief history of your church and a little bit more information.
Well, I'm the new pastor of Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. Shiloh is at 3801 Forest Manor Avenue, right at the corner of Forest Manor and 38th Street, right here in the heart of the city. Shiloh has a 127-year history. Began on the west side and now is on the east side, and has a 127-year history of serving the Lord, and we're glad to continue that tradition.
You mentioned about serving the Lord. Now you're going to be serving the community. Not that you're not doing that, but you have a new program or rejuvenated program that you're going to bring. So share that with us, please.
Yes, we're so excited. Shiloh has been involved in the community. Our two main focuses have been early childhood education and then also feeding the community through a food pantry. And I've been there about a year, and one of the things that I looked at is look at the things that we do well and turn them into things that we do great. And the food pantry is an area that we've been serving a limited number of families, and I saw this opportunity to partner with Faith, Hope, and Love that we could expand this food pantry so that we could serve more people in our community. Hunger is really a tragic thing going in our community. This is the richest nation in the world, and 20% of our children still face hunger. There's something wrong with that, and the church needs to step up to that situation.
So when are you going to plan to open this food pantry?
We've been putting our members through some new food pantry training, and now on April 5th, I believe, the first Saturday in April, we're going to debut our new food pantry.
Right, and that's going to be at your church?
It'll be at our church, 3801 Forest Manor. It's about not just food, it's about relationship.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, not just about food, but about relationship.
People are hungry, but people are hungry for more. We can give them physical food, but we need to give them spiritual food. Spiritual food, Jesus said to the woman at the well, if you would drink of the water of life, you'll never thirst or hunger again. And so we can give them physical food in the compassion of Christ to serve them today, but if we can give them spiritual food, we can transform lives, and that's what we're really about, transforming lives.
I love it. We're just about out of time. So just tune in. Again, the name of your church?
Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church, 3801 Forest Manor Avenue.
Back to you.
Thanks, Merlin. Good morning. I'm Maria Pimentel Gannon. Coming up next, my guest tells us about his impression of our city. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Religion in the News. My guest today is Archbishop Joseph Tobin. Welcome to Religion in the News, Archbishop.
Good morning, Maria.
Good morning, and we are so happy that you are here and that you could join us. I'd like to begin by asking you about your impression of the city, or actually before you do that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born 61 years ago on the southwest side of Detroit, Michigan, and so I'm a Midwesterner by breeding. I come from a large family. I'm one of 13 children. I have 8 sisters and 4 brothers, and went to school in different parts of the United States and worked both in the United States and abroad.
And you've been here in Indianapolis for?
About 15, 16 months now.
Okay. And what is your impression of our great city in that amount of time?
Well, I've said in many different places, you know, this growing impression and appreciation for the so-called Hoosier hospitality. When I first heard it, I thought this must be some cutesy slogan somebody thought up. But I find a very genuine, sincere welcome of a stranger like myself, not simply within the Catholic Church, but in the wider community.
And you said you were from Detroit, is that correct? And how does Indianapolis compare to Detroit?
Well, Detroit's a suffering city. You know, it's a city that once was at the height of economic and political power in the United States. I believe I recently heard the mayor of Boston refer to Detroit that in 1962 it had the highest per capita income in the United States. Now it's suffering, but we're trusting that with the spirit of Detroiters and their values, that the city will come back.
And have you had a chance to look around Indianapolis and explore the city? And
I have, and something that has really impressed me, Maria, is the fact that there are a lot of very important and gifted people in this city pull in the same direction. And I found that I've lived in a lot of different cities, and that isn't always the case. There are rivalries, divisions that kind of split the community. Here, I find people that in academia, the faith-based communities, people in the sporting world, people in politics, all seem to be able to talk with each other and find common ground, common cause.
that's very good, and I'm sure that would be a good thing for our city leaders to hear. And we were talking about Detroit, and we do know that Detroit was a wonderful place, and we pray that it would continue to begin to thrive again at some point, or at least continue to be there for its people. Coming to Indianapolis, what would be a recommendation, or what words of wisdom, or what would you leave, what message would you give to our people here in Indianapolis?
Well, I think, one thing I need to say is Detroit still is a wonderful place. It's a suffering place.
Yes.
I think what we can learn is that a city never stands still. It's either going forward or it's moving backward. So no one can rest on their laurels. We can only do our best to work together for the common good. And
I would love to talk to you again in the future. I know you have lots of words of wisdom, and I know that you're a very educated and learned individual, and I'm really looking forward to having you back whenever we have the chance. Would you be willing to do that?
Absolutely. I don't know if I have a whole lot of wisdom and education, but I do have a lot of gratitude to God for calling me to Indianapolis.
That's wonderful. I would really like to thank you for being here, for being our guest here today, and I just wish you all the very best in your leadership here in Indianapolis.
Thank you, Maria.
And thanks for joining us again on Religion in the News. And now, JR, back to you.
Thank you, Maria. And thank you for joining us today on Religion in the News. Be sure to tune in next month for another exciting episode of our program. You can share your upcoming event on our calendar by sending it to us at least 2 weeks in advance to the Wish TV address on the screen. Or email us your event and your prayer requests to religion@wishtv.com. You can also check us out on Facebook under Religion in the News. Check out our guest information and calendar events this week by visiting wishtv.com, click on Community, and then on Religion in the News. Also visit the Church Federation of Greater Indianapolis's website at indyfaith.org. Here's our calendar. Have a great week.